LTS.
Kick back, relax, and enjoy the LTS podcast.
My best friend.
Hello. Good evening. What's going on, everyone? I'm your host for tonight, Alan. And tonight we have a great show for you guys. The lineup is stacked. We have, of course, Marcos. We have Josue. And today we have, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce back to the show a person we've had on before. Our special guest for tonight is Jensy. Jensy, say hello to the good people out there.
Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here tonight.
Nice. Excellent. And tonight we do have a list, not like the other nights. So hopefully we can get through all the questions. But I do want to do something real quick. I want to ask everyone around the table, how's everyone's week going? How's life? Is everything copacetic? Or is everything just falling apart at the seams? Please share. We'll go with our special guest of tonight. Jensy, please start us off. How's your day? How's your week? How's your month been going? How's your year been going? Because we haven't even really spoken to you for a while. So, just give us the life update. Leave out all the bits and pieces you don't want to share. But please, go ahead, share.
Of course, yeah. I guess I'll start with the year. So far,
right.
The has been pretty good. The month, I guess, if I focus on the month, it has been a little stressful. This is my last semester, finally. And yeah, the classes have been a little stressful, especially because midterms are around the corner. So
right.
I have had midterms. I have a project due. I was talking with Marcos earlier about how I have a project and it's very tedious, but I'm almost done with it. And then I also have midterm coming up. But other than that, it's really good. Currently, I'm at DC, so that has been fun. Today, I went to a few museums. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to a tomorrow I'm going to a Kai festival here at DC, and I'm very excited. It's gonna be super nice. It's gonna be 70 degrees. So I'm very excited for the nice weather. Because in New York, New York, the weather has been a little crazy. So I'm very
it's a little bipolar.
Yeah, so very excited for tomorrow because it's I think it's for the National Cherry Blossom festival that they do here at DC. So it's very exciting. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be fun. It's a whole day. So yeah, that's the update with me so far.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard from other people, some friends that have gone to Washington to see the cherry blossoms, because I think, and I'm not sure, I could be just pulling this one out of my hat, where DC is kind of like on the same, I don't know if it's longitude or latitude or whatever the case is, on like around Tokyo, Kyoto, in Japan. So like the weather's similar. I don't know about elevation wise, but it's similar enough where cherry blossoms do flower, like I guess around relatively the same time. And it's a beautiful sight to see, and I can't wait for it to get a little bit warmer here, and we start seeing that over here in our neck of the woods. But that's exciting. I hope you enjoy. Please eat a lot of snacks.
I definitely am.
Yes, I myself a great time, because I know that's like one of those occasions over there in DC that it's a really good look. At least the flora over there. It looks really nice and aesthetic, and I hope you take a bunch of pictures for the IG or whatever, TikTok or whatever the case is. But that's super dope. About that, the final exams, I can't do much about that, but good luck. We wish you nothing but the best for those. But I mean, as far as those stressful exams go, how prepared do you feel yourself to be? Like, are you saying like maybe 80%, 90%?
Well, I was telling Marcos that I'm a really bad procrastinator, but actually...
Maybe you're a great procrastinator. That's what it is.
Yeah, because I always get things done. I always get things
very good.
done. I get no sleep, but I get it done.
Oh, man.
But I actually, for this midterm, the professor did do a review during class, so that was good. And I also made like myself a review sheet, so I think I should be good. I feel like 80%. I think I should be able to get at least an 80 on that midterm. So it should be good.
Yeah, that's not a bad look at 80, you know.
Yeah, and I still have until Tuesday, so a few more days. Well, let's not count tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll be like probably eating all day and just enjoying the day.
No, that's definitely like the move. Enjoying your, I guess this would be considered your spring vacay, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, my school has the spring break actually really late. We don't have the spring break until next week. Well, until April 5th.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I guess they time it around Passover, I guess, right? Or Easter.
Yeah, so we don't. So technically, this was more like a weekend getaway that I was like, okay, I need to go. I need a de-stressor.
I got the title.
Right.
I got the podcast title now.
Yeah.
Blossoming
yes,
with
stress.
No,
a weekender story.
Blossoming with Jensy.
Okay. Why not? That sounds dope. Yes. So exams are in the bag. Of course, Jensy got it.
Yeah, I
No
got
need to
it.
stress. No need to stress. She's about to go chill tomorrow. That's awesome. What was the other one that you mentioned about? All right. So your year has been great so far. Your month has been going smoothly, and your day is about to go swimmingly. So
Yes.
I don't know if there's anything else we can kind of like comment on yours, but just to say or to end it with this, that you're living life and you're doing it well.
I'm trying. Yeah.
I hear you. But all right. So Jensy, thank you so much for sharing. We're gonna ask who wants to go first, Mr. J or Marquitos? Who wants to go first and share their week or day?
Well, it's been interesting. Like for me, I've been listening to CNN this entire week as of the recording.
Oh, bro, why'd you do that to yourself?
C-SPAN radio and CNN about the whole thing with the court hearing with TikTok. And
Right.
like my boss is like getting like, oh, what is algorithm? Is it only math? Like, yes. And
You're getting excited.
and
yes.
while they were doing the court hearing, I had a lot of lawyers and judges over there just judging at the court hearing, like or at the Congress hearing, like this is leading 101 leading,
Right.
yes, like oh my god, and they're like in front of me, so they're just listening to it. I'm like, I can literally take their hot takes in front of me. So I was like, clip this, please, somebody clip this. As
do
if
you
it was a
ask
lecture.
questions to the customers?
Yes, I
Or
do.
do you just keep to yourself? And,
Sometimes I ask.
Oh, do you? What kind of questions have you been asking your customers? That's interesting to me.
There's like,
I
Oh,
bet
no.
you do.
but I was like, is this leading? Isn't like my first one? Isn't this leading? It's political. It can't be considered a court hearing. So that's what I've been.
Like-
I will be the one.
What
Yeah,
would be the
decide.
percentage of this political, I guess, take on it? Is it like all political, or is there some level, or is there like some level of actual worry amongst the people, right? Whether it be left or right.
It was across the spectrum. That's like I don't know how well even my boss, he could tell when it was a Republican or a Democrat asking the question. I was like, how do you know this? The way they pose the question. I'm like,
Okay.
like, I don't know. I'm still not good enough at catching those things. But yeah, they're like, and then they would say, Senator blah 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 from South Carolina, please take the stand. You have 2 minutes or something like that. So, oh no, he's a Democrat. He's a Republican, and
Right.
you could start building up a pattern. Mainly Southern states, West Coast states, East Coast states, and all those things. And they're like, it sounded dumb though. It triggers me. Like, you can Google this instead of asking the president unnecessary questions. What do you
Well,
think? Yeah.
I think that, before you ask me that question, we'll get to that question, but
Right.
would you be able to share a little bit more about your week besides that point? Because I do want to get to Josue and ask him how his week has been going, or his day has been
good.
going.
Mainly observing. I wish I could have augmented reality. What I was talking to Jensy before. Like,
Okay.
if we had augmented reality, eventually, some privacy issues and all those things. If we can clip certain things in our life, clip that, clip that, clip that.
Absolutely, yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
Having those little
that's-
hot takes, recorded and being able to play back all those little hot takes would be amazing and interesting.
An interesting cross of personal space, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
another
absolutely.
bridge. That's another bridge.
There's an issue there.
there's a potential issue, but let's cross that next.
Right. And thank you for sharing, Marcos. We're gonna go with Mr. J. Mr. J, how was your week? How has it been going? Have you done anything like crazy? Maybe I don't know, skydived, or I don't know, maybe jet skis. I don't know what's in the mind of a genius.
Yes, Josue?
What was that, bro?
I don't know. Tell that to Josue.
I don't know. It sounded like he switched it up real quick with the intro.
No, half of that was me. Half of that was Marcos.
Oh, dang,
Yeah.
bro.
Had to keep you humble.
Oh, man.
Hold on, I'll play it one more time.
Damn, bro. He played you, my guy.
That's next time. Stay tuned.
No,
Okay,
yeah.
so, yeah, Mr. J, take it away, buddy.
No, yeah, I haven't done much other interesting, went to work in that city. I had to
Okay,
listen to
cool.
Marcos talking about CNN, and little did he know I hacked CNN to make him hear everything he heard. So everything
Right.
he heard was false.
I hear.
Come on,
Everything
man.
was an illusion. He just didn't know because it was an AI in the background.
Oh, I see.
When his boss said algorithm, what is that? It's what you're listening to.
Yes, of course.
And yeah,
So no.
I also
no
listened
new
to the,
restaurants.
I wish, no.
Oh man. Any like weekend traveling like Jensy or anything like that?
Nah, I haven't gone anywhere else but here.
Oh, my
In
tears
New
are
York.
running down my face. No, why? Oh man. So now that
about
we
you?
got our kind of week. Oh, you want to hear about my week?
Yeah.
My week has been sort of eventful. So I was helping out one of my good friends study for their citizenship exam. So it was really interesting to go down the list of 100 questions to try to figure out how she can better memorize them. And then not only that, but obviously when she got to the actual exam, she only had to recite, I think, 5 of them that they asked. So, it's a hit or miss type of thing. But it was interesting. It was an interesting experience for her. And at least for me, since it was like the first time I've really kind of drilled down on questions that you kind of remember in the back of your head in your memory bank from like middle school, high school, even
Elementary school.
like 5th grade. Yeah, like when you start learning about the Declaration of Independence, Pledge of Allegiance, you start thinking about who's a senator of New York, how many states we have, what the bars and stripes on the flag represent, how many stars are on the flag, and other history tidbits about the US. It's really interesting how much it's kind of like, I wouldn't say different, but there's a couple of questions and answers on the exam that are a little different from what I remember getting, or the information I got when I was growing up in high school, middle school, and even elementary school. I won't bore you with all the details, but I just want to say that for those people out there listening to us that are on that, grind, I feel for you, and
Uh,
you can do it.
You
Don't
got
give up.
this.
You got it. Absolutely. That's been one thing that I've been tackling, and successfully tackled, because my friend actually passed it, and she's gonna do her initiation. She's gonna get beat up, by a couple of Marines, and get jumped in to get her citizenship. No, I'm playing. But she's gonna do her pledge for the citizenship, which is great news. Another thing has been, what was it? I spoke recently with a couple of people for and I'm forgetting the names off the top of my head, but I was speaking to a couple of people about the economic situation that's been going on, because I've been trying to keep up with that as best as I can, so I can get like not the jump on the bottom of the market, but just being aware that there's certain things going on that we need to stay on top of, so that we don't get caught up into that, Silicon Valley Bank situation, or any other bank that's a regional or a community bank, and just diversifying your money in different ways so you don't get stuck with the short end of the stick. So that's something I've been trying to keep on top of it, and talking to as many people as I can that not only are interested in I guess you can say the topic, but also that maybe might affect them in either a positive or negative way. And I think for the most part, that's been pretty much it, bro. I mean, work is work. I mean, nothing new. Same thing, same old thing. But I mean, the only thing I can really think of as far as food goes or restaurants, dude, I mean, what is it like this today? I went to Double D's like twice. Shout outs to Chris from our last recording, going to Double D's. But other than that, what have I gone? Like, maybe I went to a Mexican restaurant, gone probably to the Chinese buffet once, and nothing really eventful as far as food goes in this. Oh, I do remember now that you mentioned it. I don't know if it's the algorithm that listens to us through our phones, which is very creepy. It is right? So it's super weird. Like, I'm talking about like stalkerish creepy. Like, I'm about to like throw my phone in the river type, in the Hudson. The thing is that, remember we were having the talks about how people from the other side of the coast, on the West Coast, like to brag, or even in other places of the United States, claim how their food or their food scene is just so much better than the East Coast. It's like, oh, our bagels, our delis, our pizzas, our Mexican food, our Salvadorian food, our Guatemalan food, our Peruvian food, or whatever food, right? It's like, it's so much better over here, and it's whack over there in New York or Connecticut or Jersey. I'm like, bro, hold up. Why y'all getting so like nasty with people? Like, hey, just go enjoy your food. If you enjoy the food that they make out there, great. Understand that not everybody is from the same place, and it sounds weird, but it's like the algorithm picked up on it, and I'm getting a bunch of videos, reels, and pictures from places around New York, like like Food and Wine doing like the top 5 restaurants that you need to visit in New York, or whatever the case is. Or it's like, I think there was what is it, Pedro Pablo Pascual or Pascal, whatever his name is, the actor on Hot Ones that was featured on the show.
Pedro Pascual.
Him, Dookie,
the Last of Us guy.
Well, they talk. I think I know which video you're talking about. It was like where like they're talking about like all the Mexican restaurants that there's in New York.
Yes. He's like, yo, I take here. He's like, yo, I don't think there's any really good Mexican restaurants in New York. Come after me. I'm like, relax, bro. Like, if I really wanted a hot take, I'd get it from a chef, that's, has a well-rounded palate. Like, I'm gonna have an actor that's gonna go through and go to like Michelin star restaurants. That he's gonna be like, oh yeah, no, this food over here in Manhattan. Like, bro, you have so many other spots in New York, Connecticut, and Jersey. It's not like you're gonna, say just because you went to 2-3 eateries over here in the tri-state, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I got a pretty good grasp of all the food out here. Like, to me, it's crazy the fact that people that maybe I'll give him a little bit of some leeway, because I'm guessing he's eaten a lot of Mexican spots over there on the West Coast, or maybe here in the East Coast. But even then,
he's doing it for the clips.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's like when you got people that are not from a certain country telling people that are from maybe that certain country that they're very well versed in their ethnic food. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that they could be so bold to say, "Oh no, I know what Mexican food tastes like. I know what." Yeah, maybe you know what West Coast California style Mexican food is.
LA.
But to be quite honest, like if you have that rivalry between Texas and California, like what does Chicago or New York have to do with it, right? Or what does, I mean, we're all the way here in the Northeast, like we're super far away compared to their proximity of Mexico. I kind of get that they're closer, so maybe the food is tastier, but at the same time, bro, it's like that's kind of like a blanket statement that's not well based, where it's like, dude, you haven't been in all the spots. And to be honest, like I've seen people, like just regular, Joes, girls and guys, just saying, yo, really, are you gonna play NYC or New York? Or I saw this girl on TikTok. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to share this video with you guys, where she's talking about from Westchester down all the way to Manhattan to the 5 boroughs. It's like the only way you're gonna get good quality Spanish food, doesn't matter what country, it's like you gotta know a person that knows a person to get invited to the house party or to la quinceañera or la boda.
100%.
Right, to get like the authentic food, because you're not gonna get that possibly at a restaurant, because they're just gonna do típico, right? Because I know I can go get some banging tamales or some banging mofongo or some amazing pupusas or some crack ass tortas or semitas when I'm going to Panchito's crib, or Juanito's crib, or whatever the case is, right? And I'm gonna stop rambling again because I know it's gonna get lengthy, but yeah, that's what's been going on. The algorithm does listen to you, and it's really weird. But other than that, bro, I think that's how my week's been going. It's been going well, thank God. I'm still alive. I have everything. All my digits are still on my hands. We're good. My back is still working properly. What else? I've been eating well. But we got to start working now, guys. This winter, gut is not looking right, guys. We got to get the 6-pack going or something, bro.
No, at least at a health. How about a healthy weight? Calm down. Let's just go for a healthy weight. How about that?
How about let's start? Stop talking about it. Let's be about it.
I mean, this week I'm guilty, man. If we're actually keeping numbers, I'm guilty, man.
Are you weighing yourself, bro?
Yeah, every day.
Dude, that's gonna get like on top of tedious, is gonna get kind of like.
What do you mean?
Oh, you're gonna punish yourself because you're gonna.
I've been doing it since 2017.
Oh, bro, but is that a medical thing though, or is that just a personal?
Just a personal thing.
Does that not bug you out though? Really? Oh, you got some mental fortitude.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through other things. That's just standing.
Because I know people look at it and they get really anxious, like their anxiety kicks in. But I mean, you're one of those top elite,
I've been doing other things like since I was first grade.
Right.
So
I've been jumping on roofs.
No, I've been having like as a week, like imagine if you like I had to get over my fright of needles when I was since first grade. So
okay.
imagine
Do
that
you
like
get queasy when you see blood, bro, or not? You're good.
Like every week I would have to go and do blood work for the situation that I had.
Right.
Every week blood work, and the first time I ever had to do that, blood work and an MRI, blood work and an MRI, blood work and an MRI.
Damn, bro.
So yeah, and then let's check how the chemicals are running through your system.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro. You're like
you remember when I used
chemicals, my guy. You're like chemical X, bro. And then turn into a million, bro.
And then it didn't help that I was one of the 2 kids in the state with the same situation.
Right. Nah, but you're amazing, bro. Like, dude, not anybody can just do that, bro. Like, go through that situation, just be successful.
Before I was out of elementary school, I had already gone through 100 laser surgeries.
Damn, bro. Oh, man. All right, so
yeah.
I'm sorry to like switch up the topics in this
Go
situation.
for it. No,
all right, And I do want to get to that question that you posed earlier, but I do want to mention before that, or before we get to your question that you were mentioning while we were doing the interview, or your day, a week, the first question from our show notes that we're going to tackle. So this is LTS notes 102 for those that have been keeping up. And we passed the 100 episode threshold, so hooray. And this is, I believe, Marcos, right? This is yours. Question of the day. So the first bullet point is, applause is all around. Yes, applause all around. So the first question being, at your current age, if money wasn't an issue, where/how would you like to spend your retirement? So that's the first question that Marcos poses for the LTS podcast notes. But before we start answering that question, the first question that you did mention, Marcos, was something about, can you repeat your question from your introduction about how your month and week have been going? And I think it had something to do about the questions you were asking to the customers you had about this whole TikTok situation. I could be wrong. Please correct me.
Well, for like normally, like I get a lot of officers, lawyers, and all those things at the coffee shop, and it's something that I had to build up. It's not like I don't know. I feel like I got better judging people on because if you go to a courthouse, you're not always going there with the best mood. So like I wouldn't always ask that, and I had to get better at it. Okay. So but there were like a lawyer, like the one that just stay like listening, like okay, and you just see them just listening, eating their bagel and sipping their coffee. There they are, like and like my god, just listening to the hearing. And I was asking, is this a court hearing or what is this? Like no, this is just politics. And they're like, this, like even they would say this is dumb. Like they should already done their homework. If anything, this is just this proves how uneducated or little research the politicians did. They're just going, oh please, and I say yes or no, please, yes or no to the question. And the guy's like, it's more complicated than that, sir, or miss. Can I get back at you? Can I get back to you with the information? It triggered me. But for the lawyers and the judges, they're like, no, yeah, this is just
like, may I clap back at you, sir?
There you go. Yes. And they're like, no, you can't clap back. But Sarge. But yeah.
Insert but Sarge, please.
There you go.
No, that's a great point of view, Marcos. And I think it has to do a lot because of the fact that a lot of the people that are on Congress are all lawyers for the most part. I think with the exception...
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make
I think with the exception of Senator Rand Paul, who's a doctor.
Sean Paul?
And no, Rand Paul. I think he's from down south. And there might be another person that I might be missing. But there are very few people in Congress or that are senators that are not lawyers. And as a lawyer, their number one priority, or what they're taught, is to defend their point until, the other side gives up, defending theirs. So they never really give up, and they're in that lawyer mode. So they're defending their point, arguing their point until their point is ultimately true, or there's no sufficient evidence that can be proven otherwise, right? So yes, they ask simple questions, quote unquote simple questions, for a complex situation. Well, you would consider it dumb, but sometimes, and it might be due to the fact that they're talking, I think one of the questions for whichever you want to choose, you want to pick the TikTok president or CEO from ByteDance, I think it was, or it might be Janet Yellen for the Treasury Department. It's like they ask questions because they're kind of representing, obviously, their state, one. But the other thing is that they also have to ask questions that are, I guess you can say, dumbed down enough that the common folk or the lay people can understand where they're coming from, why they're asking it. And for us, maybe we do some sort of due diligence or some sort of analysis on what's happening. So we have some information. And when they ask these questions, it might seem to us like it's really dumb or really super, really obvious. But I think they're doing it to some degree to make it seem a little bit more understandable. But also, I think we have to take that with a grain of salt and say, yeah, that's a little,
A gram of salt.
dim. But again, bro, if we look at it long term, I think they're both doing a really crappy job regardless.
Both sides?
whether whoever is asking, whether it be like from whatever party or even the person that's answering the question, sometimes they just want to get underneath a person's skin, so they'll answer it in a very convoluted way to kind of make you say, what the hell are you saying? And I think it has to do with the fact that because they're lawyers, they like to act very lawyer-ish, and they ask these redundant questions sometimes that seem like you're not in a court. Or in some sense, you're not in a court. Like, they're not trying to lie to you, maybe, or they're trying to get their facts out, and you're making it seem with their questions like their facts are invalid, right? Or they don't make sense. And it might be that the system that is placed in, that we're placed in, makes it so that answer doesn't make sense to us, because then you start catching on that there might be perhaps outside forces that are kind of either helping or not helping the cause, right? So in this case, I think it was the Trump administration wanted to get rid of it completely from the get-go. Their way around it was, all right, we'll split up the US and the Chinese servers, right? And it's going to be exclusively for one, and the other one's going to be for the other, right? And then that was a remedy to some degree, but it didn't really help, because like some people have already stated, they love to be on TikTok and they just spend hours and hours and hours on it. And again,
you don't need to expose me. You don't need to expose me.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
Don't expose me.
We can say the same thing about Twitter. We can say the same thing about Instagram. We can say the same thing about any other social media platform. Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, it's there. But I think the caveat here is that it's because it's from an outside country coming in, and I guess you could say permissions, right? The agreements that you click off on. The consent that you click off on. All that information's not staying in the US, right? It's going outside. And
damn, you just looks like you got close to the mic and just...
No, well, it's because it's crazy, because then you having all that information, all that information's going out there, and God knows what they're doing with that information. They know how you look, potentially where you are, who your circle of influence is, the people that potentially follow you, who you follow, what your interests are, and they're just collecting this in a database. Now, you might say,
the joke's on you, nobody follows me, ha!
Right, but then you might say, well, every social media company does that, right, to a certain degree. Yes, but the question remains, would you rather, and I know the answer to this, but I'll pose it in this fashion. Would you rather have a US-based company have your information, or a communist country like a China to have that information in their files about you? Now you would say, well, I don't want either. I want none of it.
Do we have a choice?
Yeah, well, you do. You cannot click off on it and say, I will not use your social media platform. But then you're out of the loop on most things in life, right? And that's I guess, the overarching problem in this whole situation, right? And you can talk about any other situations that have been going on, and it's just been a poop show, I guess you can call it, for the most part, with a lot of things going on. Yeah, whatever it is. And to your point, Marcos, sometimes they sound like bumbling idiots, right? And these are supposed to be some of the most highly educated people that are representing us, and that's a problem. Yeah, but I mean, that's my take. I don't know, Josue, Jensy, if you want to hop on and give your 2 cents on this, like, I would appreciate it. Marcos, if you have anything to add to it, I would appreciate it.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, well, I think like you said, you have this choice where it's like, do you want to either have an American company or like a communist country kind of having your data, which is very concerning because it's concerning overall that these companies are selling your data, whether it's American company or like an outside company. But yeah, but
Someone's
even then,
making
like
money.
for example, even in my case, right? My guilty pleasure is using TikTok. It's so bad. But yeah, so for example, in my profile, I don't have my name, even my username. I don't really
You have a
follow
Smurf
people.
account?
yeah, I guess you can say that. But even then, and I also have like, because they usually ask you if you want to connect your contacts, and I click that option saying no. But even then, interestingly enough, sometimes like I'll get content from somebody that like might be in my contacts, and it's it appears as people you may know. I'm like, how do you know I may know them? You know what I mean? So sometimes it can be very concerning that, especially. Yeah, so I think that like the way that they track your data, it's very concerning. And also kind of like you said earlier, for example, the algorithm, I mean, like these algorithms are getting scarier sometimes. Like I'll get a video and I'm like, why is this so specific? so yeah, and then you have the other option, which is like, okay, so I can give up social medias, and I have a few friends, and like I can give up TikTok, and I have like a friend, she's into cybersecurity, and she refuses she refuses to use TikTok because of that. And I probably should.
It was a government mandate, I think, right?
That's a smart person right there.
Yeah, and I probably should too, because ideally, like I do when I get into cybersecurity, that's the career I want to go into. So like ideally, I should probably be avoiding things like TikTok.
It's like practice what you preach type of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
do as
I'm
I say, not as I do.
Like, I try my best to kind of keep my data. I think that's the best I can do as somebody who actually uses TikTok, trying to keep the ideally I would stop using it. Like that's what I should do, right? But what I do instead, because I do like I wouldn't say I have an addiction to TikTok, but I do enjoy like kind of like whenever I have free time going on TikTok,
right.
it's just kind of like enjoying the content that is there, because I think like some of the content is actually useful. But yeah, what I do is instead I do try to keep my personal data, try to keep as much as I can outside of that. But even then, it's extremely hard when you have like them tracking you a lot of like what you do, the content that you view, the places that you visit. Although like I try to turn off my location, I try to use a VPN as well. Sometimes when watching TikTok. Yeah, so I try to take precautions to the best of my ability when you see TikTok, especially knowing that like they are tracking so much of your data. But yeah. Marco.
Question: why not just do everything that and then just have the TikTok phone? Just everything for TikTok, no context, all those things just for TikTok consumption. What do you think? Is that too much in your opinion?
It may be, just because like I'm used to just having like one phone. This is the phone that I do everything in, and I feel like having like an extra phone sometimes might be like a little too much for me, at least. But I think like, you know what I mean? It is a good way, I think, of like kind of trying to like not expose as much of your personal data, and I think this goes with like any social media that you use overall. So many because even on Instagram, for example, I don't use Facebook, so like I try to keep off a lot of social media, so I only use really Instagram and TikTok. But even on TikTok, I don't really post. But yeah, on Instagram, sometimes like I will think about something, and sometimes like even products that like I might mention to a friend, and all of a sudden I'm getting so many ads in my Instagram feed regarding
yup.
So like it's very scary nowadays with like social media, because as much as you try to keep off like a lot of your data from being exposed and trying to protect your data, even like outside of social media, it's still there, and they're still tracking so much of what you do on a daily basis. So it's like, how do you really avoid that? So I think that's something that like it should be like very controlled by the government, the way that they track the data overall, not just with TikTok. But yeah, I guess that's my take on it for now.
No,
so
definitely.
I'm gonna give up. So like, I'm not gonna fully give it up, but it would be nice, and like I feel like I would feel more comfortable using it because that's something that's always in the back of my mind. Like, oh wow, how much data are they tracking? Like, are they tracking this? Like, they're tracking everything that I'm doing. So that is kind of scary sometimes, knowing and being aware of that. Like, if you're not aware of that, you're like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. But once you're aware of it, it's something that you're constantly thinking about. So it's like having that decision of either and you still do it, or like you give it up completely. Like, that's the only other option that we have here.
Never gonna give you up.
Yeah, that's really how I feel.
That's true. That's true. Go ahead, Jensy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. I think I was done.
Okay. Yeah, no, and I think you're getting to that point where the situation that has happened where AI is getting into the mix, right? And I guess what you can call loosely AI, right? What we come to know as AI, like the chat GPT type of situation, where the algorithm is getting very good at responding not only the answer to your question, but making it seem like they're a human being.
The clapback.
Right, they're answering very eloquently almost. But you mix that with AI imagery, right? So I think Adobe came out with a new rendition of their, I want to say, picture enhancement and imagery, where it has AI mixed in or embedded into their program, and you're able to do so much more that it's really scary. And it makes me think about like deep fakes that people have been posting, and people, whether it be a communist country or even companies here in the US, they have your voice, they have your face, and now they have an algorithm that will be able to detect how your mannerisms are, how you speak, the pitch of your voice, and we won't know if it's you that's talking to me or someone else is talking to me. And if you thought catfishing was a problem before, or even, a situation where it could be, you potentially getting arrested or whatever, now you have to prove, was that you or wasn't it you? Did you do that?
It wasn't me.
And all the evidence they have is on video or audio, and it sounds like your voice, right? Or it looks like you. I mean, this poor girl I saw online, she was crying. She's like a Twitch streamer, I think. Her face was digitally placed on another woman's face that was in like some sort of like porno video, and this poor girl is crying her eyes out because she's like, that's so messed up. Why would you do this to me? Like,
with no
what
consent.
have I ever done to anybody? And for you guys to put my face on someone and make it seem like I'm doing something I'm not, and this is horrible, and I'm gonna sue the person whoever did it when I find out. And that's a potential problem for whether it be a guy or a girl. It's just super scary, right? And I do want to get both Josue and Marcos's 2 cents on this one, because I know it might be some information that we're missing, or something that Josue and Marcos can add to it because of their insight in technology, as well as obviously Jensy. But what are your guys' takes on it?
You go first, Jensy, if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think I know. I think I might have seen a video about that, Alan, the one that you're mentioning. Well, I saw like the girl talking about it. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty scary, I think, like overall, because I have seen like, because I think there's two sides of that, right? So I've seen like some memes about it. For example, I don't know if you've seen some memes of like, I think it was like they take the voice of like Joe Biden, Obama, and Trump, and they're like playing a video game. So you see like
Biden, you say?
I've seen that today, actually.
Yeah, so you see these memes right out of that.
I subscribe to that.
This one, like this one. Oh, lag is real. Dang it, forget about it.
You find that one. But yeah, so you have that side, right, which is like all fun and games. Like, oh yeah, people are using it, like, and it's just all fun and games. But then you have like the other extreme. Well, I think Marco found the video.
I did?
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I found the link. I shared the link on the
okay.
conversation, and it's
Yeah.
Twitch streamers mainly being victimized.
Yeah, and then you have the other extreme, which is that, right? And I think like it's scary that like people have that power and they can use it for like bad, which is like, I think like as somebody who's interested in like machine learning and AI, it's so cool to me
AI,
to
you
see like
say?
all the different things and how much like technology has advanced and how like I could even like later on if I wanted to like potentially work on a company that's like working on this kind of AI or like just working on these kind of things. But it's like, how do you prevent that? How do you prevent the negative side of people using these things to like blackmail people or just to use it like for these kind of things, the things that are like and yeah, and just overall like what you said, kind of like the catfishing. If before it was bad, imagine now with all this technology that like
The
we have, and
VTubers.
people like there's always evil people in the world. People use this for bad, and it's pretty scary out there nowadays where they can like fake a picture. For example, I don't know if you'll saw the picture where Donald Trump was getting arrested, which is fake. They created, I think, using an AI. They got some pictures of Donald Trump getting arrested, and it looked pretty. I mean,
We all know it was fake because Trump was running.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, you saw those pictures, right?
Bruh.
They're pictures.
Thought that like Donald Trump getting arrested and him running away, and like, and you're like, oh, like, and some people might think that's true, and that's how I think like fake news spread, and like so many things that come along with that, and how do you prevent that? So it is so hard and it's scary out there. Yeah, Marco.
My idea, unfortunately, you might have to have other companies be conflicting data. You know, the lawyer. Remember the lawyer in South Carolina? They got arrested of murdering his family. One of the main evidence was using a smartwatch and his steps, where he was on GPS and how many steps he took. I think it was an Apple Watch. Don't quote me on that. I think a representative of Apple actually had to step in to actually whatchamacallit, because even data is going to need representatives now. Like Apple, for example, is going to will have to have reps in each lawsuit nowadays. That's my theory. What if somebody's trying to AI and digitally impose you in some place? What if because you have given your data to a bunch of places, there's conflicting information? What if the same data that you give up is the same data that can protect you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing, like, where do you draw the line, right? Like, for example, I have an Apple Watch, I have a Samsung Watch, and in here I track, like, whenever I go to the gym, like, when I'm running, I try to track my time, or, like, when I'm at the gym, I track, like, just my workout overall, and you know, so there's me trying to hide, like, my data from TikTok using, like, a fake picture and, like, a random username and not put in my real data, and then there's me using my smartwatch to track all, like, my other data, which a lot of this data can be sold to other companies. For example, I'm not sure if if some of you kept up with, for example, with the Roe versus Wade case, where some lawmakers wanted to, like, for example, I think it was period tracker apps. They were trying to get that data where people use it. Like a lot of women use these kind of apps to track their period data, and a lot of lawmakers wanted to take that data to use it against women. So it's like all those kind of things, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, where do we draw the line of, for example, we use certain apps to track our health data versus what other, and like those apps can also be used against us. Yeah, so it's scary out there because I think there should be like regulation on how the data is tracked, and there should be like the government working on it, and not just with social media, but I think overall with like all the different types of apps that there is out there, because the data doesn't include just like me using social media, but also includes like health apps that may track like all your data records for your health, because that data can also be sold. And I think, to me at least, like thinking about it, like it might be more scarier, you know, that they track my health, if there's like any data from like health, and sometimes even like companies there has been like a lot of companies that like their track health, they're more like healthcare related, where they easily get hacked, or like even airlines,
Hospitals.
yeah. So a lot of airlines too, like they get like hacked. There has been a few airlines that have gotten hacked multiple times, so then they lose, like then your data gets leaked. So I think there should be a lot of regulations on that overall, and how data is tracked and how data is kept, how data is safeguarded, whether it's safeguarded. Like for example, for us who we live here in the U.S., like our U.S. whatever data that's here tracked in the U.S., it should be kept here in the U.S. and monitored by like third-party companies, not like independent companies. So I think there should be like more regulations between that. But because there is so much like involved in that, there's so much money going into like
Money.
where certain companies will lobby, like they will pay money to lobby like certain laws to pass or laws to not pass, I guess you could say. So it's scary, but I think there should be more regulation. I think that's my kind of like my take on that.
No, that's valid. Absolutely. And I think more to the point, it's like what Jensy was saying. It's going to get to a point where these things are going to be very, very difficult to try to like weigh in on, because the technology is helping. Hopefully it's not only helping the people that are doing wrong, but also helping the people that are doing, the investigation or doing the right thing, right? And this does bring me to my next like tidbit, or my next bit of information I did want to share with you guys. But I do want to get Josue's take before I share these two, I guess, videos that I sent to you guys. I want to say on the 7th, March 7th, right? It was a Tuesday, I believe. But before I get to those two videos, I do want to ask Josue's input on this information that we've been discussing right now. Josue, if you will, please.
No, but for real, aliens is the answer for everything.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
but,
Where was my head?
Money. I'm thinking it's money.
No, it's like, okay, so I think if you view it in the commercial sense of all of these features coming out, the thing is that everyone wants the latest and greatest and everything, right?
Yeah.
So once we start, the train is moving, we're going forward, people start to get scared. It's like, okay, but how do we handle this? How do we handle that? Like, for example, with the whole deepfake situation, how do we handle deepfakes? Mind you, there is algorithms to detect deepfake nowadays.
Yeah.
Because you have to realize as this train of like pushing forward is coming along, the other side of like how do we counteract this is also coming forward as well. So like, say there's like a new vulnerability, there's going to be a patch test, something to fix it within a few days.
Job security for those guys.
Yeah. Because if we don't have that, then that's when things I think get really scary. For the public, right now with the whole deepfake is scary, but in reality, I think in the more commercialized viewpoints, like by the time they brought it up in their meetings or whatever, there's like, okay, how do we counteract this thing though? And I think by now there's like ways of detecting deepfakes, because just like with ChatGPT, the problem of like, okay, how do we detect this was created by this application or this AI, as we say it? Is there a way to detect it? And within the few days, like, oh yeah, there's an easy way to detect, discrepancies or deltas that, this is definitely an AI and this is definitely a human person. So I think as we're pushing forward, we have to also realize that there is going to be something to fix there. Even though it's like, that may sound like a little bit optimistic, that's always like that balance is always in the case, because if it wasn't, then oh god, we have a lot more bugs. So
It's
well, I guess like for like how do us as consumers, how do we protect ourselves for all of this? Is like, well, number one, don't be the as we like to call it, the typical consumer and give all of your information out there. That's number one. Sound like there's just some information that no matter what they do, they can't get unless it's with your consent or with your knowledge of you giving it to them. You know, it's like the case of, if something is hackable, it, you know, then someone will hack it. There is no if, ands, or but. It's a matter of when. So, you know, it's like, you know, as us consumers, we should be pretty vigilant and just like knowing is like, okay, what information should I give this application? Should I give it my location? What's it need for? It's like, if it's like Pokemon Go, where it needs my location to catch the Pokemon, sure, yeah. Does it need my microphone access? Probably not. You know, does it need camera access? Well, if I want to do the augmented reality thing, yeah. If I don't, take it out. Nope, you don't need it. Be gone. And you know what little people don't know is that, you know, if you do not give it permission to the app won't take it. It's not like, oh, it will have some kind of force application, because that's not, they unfortunately can't do that.
Yet.
Not even yet. They just can't.
Good.
There's certain protocols in there that people check is like, okay, yeah, you can't have this. You can hide it, but like I said, there's always the keeping pace behind you of like, how do we find this? How do we keep up? How do we fix this?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually people will be like, yeah, no, take it out.
Take it down. Take the shot.
You know, that's why we have the constant flow of like all these random updates on maybe your computer, your phone, your app. It's because we have to keep up with the latest and greatest, and if we don't, then when you start lagging behind, it's like, oh well, I'm left in the middle of nowhere. Now I'm Courage the Cowardly Dog. Get to face all the weird, you know, myths and legends.
That's a podcast, okay, also.
Imagine.
No, it is a podcast.
But it is a podcast?
Yes.
Oh yeah, myths and legends, it is. But yeah, it's like, I feel like as us consumers, we have to, you know, take the initiative of like protecting our data, because little do people believe, you know, the typical consumer will be more than willing to give consent to whatever you know, thing they need. You'd be surprised how many people would just be like, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
They don't even look at it. It's like, bro, you have to look at it. Don't get me wrong, there's like, you know, TOS where like it's infinitely long of,
but they always change
like,
it too. Look at YouTube.
well, yeah, but it's like, in something is like, you know, there's like
offer
okay,
up your firstborn.
exactly, your soul.
You know, your soul. Maybe
Give me
your
that
first
chicken
home.
nugget. You every one chicken nugget you get from like a 5-piece or a 6-piece, gotta give it up.
Why?
Gotta send that. You know, it's
You
like
only
things
are
like that.
restricted to eating a ranch.
So like, I think people need to like slow down and be like, okay, let's take it easy. What is that?
What is that, Marcos?
I'm trying to take a screenshot of it. Hold up, let me show you. Keep going.
But
Keep
yeah,
going.
like, and maybe, and also in the commercial sense, maybe, you know, if people are really worried about like, you know, oh, like these deepfakes, maybe this should be a sign for commercial side to maybe like take it down a little bit, maybe not rush to the latest and greatest, because, you know, now that people are seeing the latest and greatest, they're like, maybe this might be a little bit of a too big of a change. So, you know, maybe and unfortunately companies won't like slow down. You know, they're getting the money coming in. You're like, we gotta do what we gotta do to keep us afloat. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, companies won't be like, oh yeah, you know, let's stop production of this AI, or you know, or of I'm looking at I'm like reading the notification Marcos is sending.
That's the picture of the podcast.
But yeah, you know, just kind of, I think to wrap up what I'm trying to say, I think I might go off on a tangent. You know, be careful what you say accept to, and you know, don't be afraid of change. It's like, be skeptical of it, but don't be afraid of it.
What about,
you know, and then realize, because like even like figuring out if a video is a deepfake, there is algorithms to go against it to be like, okay, yeah, this is a deepfake. This is definitely a deepfake. And like, I guess like my guess for an example of like, if you deepfake a picture, right? It's like deepfaking yourself in a picture. there's bound to be discrepancies, like for example, the file size or the compression of how it's compressed. Is like, well, does he use a different compression style than this one, or has the metadata change?
Who's
From
gonna
this
check
file
that?
to the original. Well, you can check it through like, in trial.
You have to get good at that.
Unfortunately, if detectives don't know, they could be like, oh yeah, check that. Because like, there are detectives nowadays that are like, when it comes to like photography, like, photo evidence, especially when it's digital, it's like, okay, we have to check every single aspect of it to make sure that nothing has been tampered. Completely new video that has been defaked is like, how do we check that? And with that is like, we go back to the algorithms that, very similarly detects an AI writing an essay in ChatGPT. It could be used the same way as for like, okay, yeah, this is a deep fake. Might have to switch on some parameters, but it should work the same way. Is like, how can we tell if an AI is like, okay, an AI made this? And if not, we could just contact our local Marcos and they'll help you out.
Ohio.
There you go.
But yeah, like
That's the solution to
But
all
do you-
our problems.
and money is the solution and the cause of all our problems. Maybe politics too.
Just to add that in at the end, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
I think with the whole politics behind CNN is like, me personally, in my view, is like, it's very clear that either A, they're acting like they don't know and they're just looking for him to react, or B, these are just old timers that really don't know how an application works on your phone,
Like the Wi-Fi.
like the Wi-Fi. Like, does TikTok access my internet? Yes, it has to. All apps have to. And like I've told them, is like the only one that, at least from the clips that I've seen, the only politician that made sense, is like had a valid argument, was the one with the eye patch. That's my only identifier for him, because I think he had an eye patch. It's like, how often do you see
Was
a
it
pirate
was it from
as
Texas?
Congress? But like, he actually brought up a good point. Is like, can you guarantee the safety of the data that you guys access to our phones? And he brought up a good point, how the parent company is in China and they have to follow China rules and regulations, and that's that would have to fall under the branch of TikTok as well. And it's like that's a valid argument. It's like, can they? And like, I feel like the CEO brought up good points, but it's like, that doesn't really solidify anything though. It's like, if anything, that just makes it's like there's still more discrepancies. Like, can you? It's like, you take these precautions, was like, that doesn't really stop anything. But it's like, that's like those, okay, that makes a valid point. I forgot what the politician's name was though.
But he was
I think
Mr.
his name
Pirate.
is Daniel Reed.
Daniel
There you go.
Reed, okay.
He can read. I thought his name was Blackbeard or something, but yes, sure, we'll go with that.
Now you're making me think about actually
He's from One Piece.
like an eye patch and a big beard.
Exactly, with like golden beads on his beard.
This is
that's
like
awesome. You got a ponytail on his face.
And he say, I'm the conductor now.
And his laugh is like,
Yeah, man.
because gotta
That's
get those
crazy.
crazy One Piece laughs.
Oh,
So what do you
man.
think, Alan? Shall we proceed to the question?
Yeah, definitely. If you want, I'll ask the question one more time, or I'll read the question one more time,
Yes.
and then we'll answer. We'll go from there. I do want to just quickly add to this part of the combo with the two links that I sent in the group chat. If you would kindly send that to Jensy if you get the chance, because it
Doing it
would
now.
probably be something that she can look into, and obviously she can give her 2 cents on it. First one being the VPN wars, and I think I sent it to you, Marcos, originally, because we were talking about VPNs and if they're effective and what kind of limitations do these things have, because they're always touted as something that is very useful. And because you hear it from like your favorite technology YouTuber, or any other YouTuber that you enjoy watching, you might think, oh, this is a trustworthy person, and you associate that with a trustworthy, product that they're, pushing. But it might shock you to find out that maybe some of these aren't the best, or they ask for information that you're kind of like asking to get your information stolen. So that's one thing. And the other one is the VPN killer, which is something this YouTuber
Cloudflare?
Yeah, Cloudflare. So it's something that is uniquely different from a VPN, but it works as almost like I kind of understood it as like almost an onion, or a way of bypassing you giving information or sensitive information to whatever server or outside of your personal server. I could be totally wrong. I might be like understanding it, and it would be something of I guess great interest for everyone to look at it and maybe get your own opinion about it and see if this is something that you might be interested to implement in your web security. And he did a really good job breaking it down and explaining what it's about, why you might like it instead of a VPN, because it's a different way of bypassing you giving information out, your personal information. So that's just something I'm going to leave there. If you'd be so kind to share that to everyone, Marcos. I did send it on the group chat. Thank you so much.
I just did.
Now I'm going to read the question one more time, and we'll go from there. So the first point being from Marcos: at your current age, if money wasn't an issue, where/how would you like to spend your retirement? And because Jensy's our special guest of the evening, Jensy, please let us know what you would do with cash or your money that you would be getting at your current age, obviously. And if money wasn't an issue, how would you like to spend your retirement?
Yeah, well, if I could retire right now, I mean, like, I'm only 22, so I feel like I don't have that, like, I feel like old people, when I retire, they're like, I already worked, I want to live in a beach, which is nice. But I think, like, if I had the money and resources, I'd want to travel.
Right.
Travel. I think, like, that's one of the things that I want to do. Like, just travel all over the world. And, like, if you have the money and resources, you don't have to worry about working ever again. You can just always be traveling, always be somewhere new, just discovering new things. And also, yeah, so I think that would be the way that I would kind of like retire. So traveling and exploring like everywhere in the world.
Okay. And
the world's your oyster.
Certain or particular places you would like to go first? Like if you want to name your top 5 places or destinations that you would like to go to, would you share that, please? And when you're there, what would be the thing that you would like to do there? And I'll give you as an example. If you were to go like to China, I want to walk the Great Wall of China, right? As an example.
All of it?
Well, as much as you like. You are retired. You have the time and the resources. Why not?
That's true. Do it for the gram.
Yeah.
For the culture, please.
Yeah, so if it was, I honestly like, it would be a little bit ironic because I'm already here in the US, but one of my goals that I even like currently now I still have is visiting like all national parks. I really like the outdoors. So I think that visiting every single national park here in the US would be like one of the first things that I would do, and then go to Japan. So yeah, in Japan, I just feel like there are so many things to visit, to do, especially because like I like anime a lot. So I feel like there are so many things related to anime that I like to like visit and see. And also just like I think like overall like the Japanese culture, I think I have an appreciation for it in terms of like the way that they are. Like, yeah, I just think I have an appreciation for Japanese culture. So like I think I'll spend some time in Japan. Then I would say Greece. I think like Greece, I don't know, like I always like the idea of visiting Greece. So I think that would be really nice. Just visiting and exploring Greece. Also Greenland. So Greenland because of the Northern Lights. So I do want to go to Greenland and kind of like see the Northern Lights. And then you said top 5, right? So I still need 2 more. I think
Yeah,
I
you
would
got
have-
3. Yeah.
yes, I got 3.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
Yeah. I would say Colombia. I always wanted to visit Colombia. I feel like Colombia,
Nice.
it's very, like, it would be a very nice country to just visit and explore the culture as well. And just, I feel like it's a very vivid country. Also Brazil. I think I'd like to go to Brazil during one of their festivals. So I think like that would be really nice. And then I would like to go to New Zealand. Although like maybe, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave New Zealand. I like in New Zealand host it's like a EDM festival. I forgot the name now, but it's a really big festival, and I think I really like to go to one of those, especially in New Zealand. I heard that like they know how to party, so I think I like that. Especially I think like now at the current age that I'm at, maybe if I was a little older, maybe like not so much the partying part, but I think now like I'm still young. I think that would be like, it would be good to have that experience. And yeah, I think those are my countries for now.
Okay,
For now,
that's
I like the for
awesome.
now.
For now,
That's a great list. Yeah, no, I would have never expected you to pick New Zealand because it's so out there. But that's awesome, and not to say no shade to New Zealand, because I've also heard that
Lord of
it's
the Rings
really
fan?
awesome out there, and obviously it's like different time zone. It's
Yeah.
really like it's kind of opposite of how we are, right? So when it's winter here, it's summer over there. So it
Yeah.
might be interesting to see how that goes. And are you not worried about like the, I guess,
Yes.
the animals, the wildlife out there?
So I think like that is the one thing that like to me, and also actually like traveling to New Zealand, I think like it's like the flight
Yeah.
is extremely long. So
Right.
that is the one thing that I'm like, maybe New
You
Zealand.
got the
but-
cash. You can probably go first class all the way.
Yeah, if I have the money.
Yeah, of course. of
Your own
course.
jet, first class.
Exactly. So yeah, the wildlife, especially I think that in New Zealand there's like the spider season. So I think like that's
Right.
the one thing. Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of spiders. I think I would avoid that at like all costs of going to New Zealand during that time. But overall, I actually think
Spider
it would be
season.
like nice to kind of like experience that, because I seen like a lot of videos from New Zealand where like people just randomly like just see a kangaroo in their backyards, or just like random ass animals. So I think like that would be kind of cool anyway. It will be a different experience.
Cool, that would sound
You probably
scary.
don't get it.
It's like you wake up, you start boxing a kangaroo because they're trying to wake
Like,
you
"Oi."
up. Something.
Yeah,
There's a-
I don't know. I think kangaroos are pretty scary, but I saw this
You'll be like,
thing.
"Oi, mate, calm down."
But it would be cool. Maybe I like the idea of it. I don't know if in actuality I will enjoy it a lot.
Sounds like you
You
want
go
an
to the
adrenaline
bathroom, you
rush.
see a spider on the toilet
Oh,
seat.
no.
I don't know.
The size of the toilet seat.
Or you might go to the shower. There's a snake or something. Well, again, I don't know. I'm just
No, she's got the money. She could cover. She could
No, of
obviously
course,
do it.
you probably get a really swanky place. I'm just saying, it's like you
5
you
stars
can't,
everywhere.
You can't really.
That's something you have to think about. Like, yeah, and I think that it's something like, I think like sometimes when you travel to new places, especially if you don't do your research, or like if you don't really know like where you're going, and then you get there and you like find all these surprises, and you're like, oh wow, like you know what I mean, whether good or
course,
bad
of course.
surprises. So I think like, yeah, I'll probably do my research when is the best time for not as many spiders out there.
Not as many.
No, that's absolutely true. And not to mention, like, I know that the flight out there it's a really long ways away.
Yeah.
And I think if you had enough resources, or unlimited resources, like the question is posing, I think what would probably be the best course of action is that you do like layovers, right? So like
Yeah.
say if you start off over here on the East Coast, you'll probably want to go from New York, JFK to like maybe Europe as an example, right?
Yeah.
Or a closer
Oh,
place,
yeah.
or a closer destination that you have on your list, right? So like
Yeah.
say you want to go to Italy or Greece or France, right? Or you might want to go to maybe Morocco, or maybe you want to go to Istanbul, right? Or
Yeah.
you want to go to India and it's a little closer, something like,
Like a
that, right?
checklist on the way.
Yeah, and then from there you hop over to like Indonesia or Malaysia, and then from there you go to New
Yeah, I
Zealand.
feel like that would be the dream. And just traveling,
No
as many
money
of the
issues.
195 countries that there are. So
Right, yeah, of
like I'd
course.
have a Charles and he'd figure everything out. Would you have like an assistant that figures everything out, or you just go there?
probably, I mean, like, honestly, if you have the money, why not? If you have the money. Although, you know what? I would like the experience of backpacking. I watched
But with money.
yeah,
Wow.
true. So I have that. I watched this lady on YouTube. Her name, her YouTube channel is Itchy Boots, I believe. So she traveled all the way from like the bottom of South America all the way to like Alaska, I think it was, in a motorcycle, and I thought that was so cool.
She's alive?
Yeah. So, and obviously, she did it trying to like, I guess sort of like in a budget, but like having all the resources, like you have more safety and like, so you have so much more access to different things and even different experiences. I think like if you have money, like, and a lot of it, like you can experience so many different things and like in every country that like you might not be able to if you have like limited money and you're like, oh, I can only travel for this much amount of time. So I think it would be cool to travel like to like as many countries as possible in the world and just like visit every city and just like get the experience, because I also feel like I wouldn't like to just, I think there's a difference between like when you like go on a vacation where it's like, okay, you're going to a nice city, you're just relaxing, versus when you're like traveling where you're exploring a little bit more. So I like the idea of like exploring more, not just the bigger cities, but also like the smaller towns, like that might be like maybe less visited, because I think that also like kind of helps you understand the culture and just the place that you're visiting overall. So I kind of like I like that idea, and I think like that would be really cool to me to just not visit like the bigger cities like in every country, but also visit like the smaller cities that like might have a little bit more depth to the culture, or like you might be able to explore a little bit more and understand how like people around there behave and just overall the culture. So yeah,
there's a YouTube
That's
channel
awesome.
of a guy crossing from south, all the way from Argentina, the tip, all the way to, like you said, up here in a VW bus. And
That's
there's a
amazing.
playlist of his. So he wasn't going in as riches, like the question was posing, but he built an entire playlist and YouTube channel. So there's a motorcycle guy, but the opposite is also true. So two guys who went from the US to all the way south, they didn't make it past Mexico.
Really? That's
Yeah.
scary.
So
yeah, that is pretty scary.
there you
but
go.
now that Jensy mentioned it, I want to say I read an article, and I'm not sure if it was Leisure and Travel or if it was the Points guy, but it was something along the lines of since Jensy mentioned watching or seeing the Northern Lights, I think there was something over here in the U.S. and I want to say Wisconsin, where they said that around this time of year, or particularly this year for whatever reason, you'll be able to see the Northern Lights in the United States. And I'm not sure if that's
What was
tonight.
this phenomenon a few days ago?
It
where I
I think
yeah,
you shared it. Yeah,
might have been a
They
couple of days ago.
I am, so don't quote me on these, and like I didn't really look
Yeah, I'm
more.
going off of memory too, Jensy. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
So, but it had to do something with like the pole, like the different poles like around the earth. There was something
Right.
happening that like the northern lights were actually visible from different parts of like throughout the US, which does not something, and they were not like the regular northern lights. I think they were behaving a little bit different because of like the phenomenon that was happening. So
Right.
when I read that, I was like, oh my god, I missed them. And so, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Like these kind of things happen like out of nowhere, and you're like, oh wow, like so.
Yeah, definitely, and it's something I would love to go see as well. And if it's in like
posted
our
it in the
backyard
conversation
in the
the
U.S.,
recording.
why the hell not? Let's definitely like try to plan something out, boys. And Jensy, of course, if you want to come through, go visit some spot like that. That'd be
go
awesome.
places.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Well, that's my first question. Obviously, like Alan, Josue, and I already answered that question. But do you guys want to re-answer your question? That question, guys.
I'm looking for the One Piece.
Here you go.
Yes, absolutely. As am I. I am part of the council as well.
You have to go to all the countries to find the polyglyphs.
the poneglyphs.
Yes, the road
Mhm.
poneglyphs. I need to go to
That
Skypiea
one.
first though.
Oh,
But basically, I would probably do something similar to Jensy. Like there's just so many places I would like to travel to. And obviously, I think part of the culture in a lot of countries is the food, and I think that's what I'm attracted to more.
Food?
Not yeah, like obviously people have really nice art, really great music, really great ambiance, but I think a lot of I guess the more nuanced things that you can really touch base with that you can use all five senses is food, right? So you get to listen, you get to taste, you get to see, you get to smell, right? You get to use all your senses, and it's literally someone's culture on a plate. And whether it might look appetizing or appealing to some or no one, like that it's coming from hopefully it's coming from a good place, right? As far as like what they want to represent on that plate, and it gives you a good feel or a somewhat good feel of what the culture is like. Maybe the food that's that or the ingredients that are available in that season, in that area, and it gives you a insight into what that culture is. And I think that's something I would like to do. Obviously I'm not probably I'm a little out of the loop when it comes to like going to like ultra, right, and doing what Jensy wants to do and party out. But personally, like if I were to go to like a party city or like
that's a storm, sir.
yeah, like I know this is something that has been said in the past by other people, where if you want to go and do the party thing, you might want to go like to South Korea, because it's it's a very active party and social country, right? Especially in the city of Seoul. And if you want to go to a more chill, like obviously there's a party
He's got
scene
that
or
soul in him.
there's obviously like a party scene over in Japan, but it's a lot more chill, I guess you can say, because it's not all of Tokyo. Like you have to go to places to like Shinjuku where it's like more active, right? And there's pockets of that
in Europe, Ibiza,
in Tokyo, but you see more of it concentrated, at least from what I could gather when I went. Like I went to Shinjuku, and it's not like I went to all the clubs or anything like that, but it was interesting to see that in Shinjuku there was a lot, like obviously the red line district is around there. You do see a lot of like host clubs and hostess clubs. You see a lot of that I guess atmosphere in that area.
Marco's eyes sparkled there for a minute when you said all that.
I imagine he did. But obviously it's a lot more toned down, I would say, because you get more of like I guess a Tokyo proper, where you have other places where it's more business-like or where it's more touristy, and they're a lot more subdued in the way they go about doing their thing, or about how life is being done over there. And culturally it's a lot more different than other countries, or Western countries for that matter. It might be somewhere you want to go if you're a little older and maybe partying isn't like your number one goal. Maybe Tokyo or Kyoto might be, or even other parts of Japan might be better suited for your activities that you want to do. But if you want to go probably do more of the party thing, great food, great atmosphere, Seoul, it might be a better spot for that. And I mean, I would definitely want to go maybe to Malaysia or Indonesia or Qatar or something like that. Definitely hit up India, because food over there must be amazing. I don't know, I'm almost tempted to say like I would like to go and see Madagascar, just because it's like you get like a sense of like it's very, very different from Africa and India, but it's like that little island right next to those two countries, or those two continents, I guess, all you could say. And you get to see, I'm just being facetious now, but I'm going to say it. You'll see probably King Julian, right? and all the other
Julia.
Yes, here I like to move it.
yes, and all the other animals from the zoo, the Bronx Zoo, obviously.
They're all just dancing to it.
They're all there, you know, King Julian, Alex the Lion, and all the other characters. They're probably over there doing their thing, and I would probably enjoy that highly. Other than that, like Mediterranean, like around the Mediterranean is probably super dope. Like the food, the culture, obviously, the history, probably like Jerusalem. That's probably somewhere I would definitely want to go. Go somewhere to like Israel.
Want to go biblical?
Yeah, definitely.
Get some of that good food.
Yeah, over there,
That too?
I'm pretty sure they have banging, amazing food. Other than that,
All
bro,
the
like,
dates. All the dates.
right? All the figs. Yeah, and I think those are like places I would definitely want to go. Definitely the Northern Lights really interests me, like going over there to see something like that. And I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, what's something that you guys would want to do? Like, would you want to go by plane, by boat? Would you want to do the motorcycle thing, or do you want to do car,
Thousand
train?
Sunny.
I would do the Thousand Sunny. Why the hell not? I would kind of be wigged out though if we had like Frankie and Nami with us, or like someone else. I definitely want a Sanji, bro, like, and a Zoro with us as well, and a musician.
I'm Thousand Sunny because it'll be powered by the wind and cola.
By soda.
Exactly. And we all know we have enough of that.
Absolutely.
See, that's the future, powered by soda. That's the future, guys.
Hashtag not sponsored.
No electricity, no wind, nothing. No soda.
Like even going down to seeing the Great Coral Reef down in like Australia, that would be awesome. Like, I've never done scuba diving or anything like that, but I would be super tempted in doing that just to see that, because I've heard that it's super amazing. I don't know, like, there's so many places, but obviously you would want to go to the places that kind of call out to you, and that might be different for everyone.
If the money's no stop,
if there weren't an issue
list,
yeah, you would want to go everywhere, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure everyone has their like my top 5 or top 10 before getting to everything else. Because like even places that are close by, like to Jensy's point, there's places like the national parks. I don't know how many national parks there are in the United States, and I'm pretty sure there's quite a few, and they're all super like awesome, and they have their own little ecosystem going on. And I'm pretty sure it has like different aspects to the beauty of nature of the United States, or North America. But at the same time, it's like trying to do all 50 states would probably be also a really good I guess goal. Like, I've been to a few states on the East Coast. I've never been to all 50 though, and that might be something I would like to do at some point. Like, and maybe not drive it everywhere, but like maybe some of them drive it, but there'd be probably some that I would like to fly to. Like definitely Alaska, Hawaii is somewhere awesome I would like to go. Like even the really arid desert places like in Arizona or in New Mexico or Nevada might be awesome to visit. But yeah, like, I don't know, what Marcos, Josue, Jensy, you want to add another, like, your 2 cents to it? Like, because I know, like, we're bringing up a lot of stuff, and it gets you, like, excited to go and do stuff.
Dog, just real quick, dog, I'm gonna have to go. So,
okay, Josue.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, bro.
Stay frosty.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, Marcos, Jensy, what other things did like the conversation get your mind thinking, or how has like those thoughts been like, or goals been getting to you, like better or clearer or more focused on something else?
Oh man, I got one. If the money is no resource, start with categories: food, Michelin star places around the world.
I hear you, buddy.
I'd get a Charles, dress me up and let's go to all the Michelin stars.
Like, Jeeves, please. Dress me up.
Charles, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Like, just let's dress me up.
Okay.
And let's
okay.
go. That'll be around the world. And that's be one way to go around the world. The other
Right.
one, like, hey, all the national parks of the world.
Oh, nice.
And then the last one, International Space Station.
Oh, you want to go out of space?
No, just a high orbit or something like that.
High orbit, like kind of like a Tesla, or what's it called?
Something like that.
Or maybe Mr. Bezos.
Mr. Bezos. Oh no, or something like that, or and probably, you have clips, like, or a playlist, not where I'm going, where I've been, and probably like that.
Okay, would you two be interested in going, undersea, like to go see like the
Under
sunken
the sea?
Titanic, or something like that? Would you guys be down to do something like that, or not?
That's categories.
I think so. Although, like, honestly, to me, the ocean is scary. In terms of
The ocean is scary. Space is scary.
yeah,
Animals that could kill you is scary.
Spiders are scary.
yeah,
All scary.
but I honestly would be down to, like, if you have the money, like, might as well also like go to space, even if it's just like, you know how Bezos, he went to space for like 15 minutes.
Right.
But I mean, like, why not? If you have the money, why not? I feel like I always like to experience new things and just like. So yeah, I think I would definitely be down for something like going into like the ocean. Also, like, scuba diving is something that like it has always kind of been on my bucket list as well. So I think like that would be nice to kind of like go under the sea and like go explore something like, yeah, like you said, like the Titanic. That'll be pretty cool.
Develop the tech for having the first
definitely.
underwater speaker, and you have like under the sea, under
You're
the
wild,
sea. Just have a anywhere you go around the world, you have a theme song playing.
Oh, that's true though.
Like-
Well, also like if you have unlimited money, right, and like you have technically
Have
unlimited
fun
time
with
because you
it.
don't have to work. Like,
Have
what
fun
else are
with
you
it.
gonna do? Like, also like maybe develop some type of technology. Like if you have a goal, like something that you either like you want to cure something, or like I don't know, like just want to make something
yeah.
that's never been there. Like Marcus said, having like underwater
Being a
speakers.
philanthropist, right? Being a philanthropist and
Having
like
fun
giving
with
back
it.
to the people, to communities.
Clapping back, yeah.
Absolutely, that would be awesome, though. And
But
there's
just
so
like
much,
having fun with it.
right, and there's so many problems that people can start like working towards solving the problem. Sometimes I guess, and it comes back full circle, right? Back to politics, because sometimes
dang it.
people have the solution. Unfortunately, people are so short-sighted and into their own head that they won't allow those solutions to be aired, because one, it might not be profitable, or two, it might take away the power that's in their hand, and that scares them.
That's the thing. That's why the question is posed. If money was no issue, you just have no breaks.
Right. And that kind of reminds me, I think it was I forgot what article I was reading, but it was, I think, about Bill and Melinda Gates, where they kind of had enough. Well, obviously they're billionaires, right? So they invested, I don't know how many millions in putting their own type of education system, and I want to say it's in the United States, and it kind of messed up the United States from one, I forgot the time frame, but
Hey there, Marcos here. This marks the end of part 1 of this recording. Join us next week on the posting of part 2. Also, there's a video version of this podcast posted every Thursdays of the week. The podcast is posted on Tuesdays and the video on Thursdays, unless otherwise told. So, enjoy. From the bottom of my heart, Marcos and the LTS squad, signing out.